Welcome to GARcast, home of all manly media.
Hello and welcome to GARcast. Today is a very special episode. We have a guest, and a very special guest at that. So our usual round is, as always, is Alistair.
Hey.
Boris.
What's up?
Tom.
G'day.
And our special guest is the anime hero.
Hello.
Hello. So, would you love to introduce yourself?
I don't know what else to say other than, the typical thing I always say in all of my videos with, I'm the anime hero, I review anime so you can enjoy it. And do you want me to go on, about my personal life or something, too?
You cover a very special niche of anime.
Oh, well, that's what you say, but I haven't been doing that in the past year, or maybe, well, sort of. I don't know, I feel like I'm betraying people. I feel like as well. I feel I'm betraying people because because last year I was doing the manly list of characters, and I just realized, holy shit, this is the second year I'm doing it. I only did one single video for that list, and now I'm thinking, what's wrong with me? Here I am obsessing over anime superheroes currently. Well, I don't know. One thing I realized about myself that I tend to go through phases throughout my whole YouTube thing. Like, I'll be into this certain thing, and then I don't forget about it over the years, but it stays with me. But I start getting interested into other things, and I guess ever since I did that manly characters list, I felt burned out that I accomplished kind of what I wanted to do. But there's still other things that I want to do, which is I said earlier, the one manly list and a couple of other things, because personally I get kind of fed up with the anime community on YouTube, and every now and then I get pissed off about how there's certain websites that clearly do not know about any anime that they're talking about, and they make all these videos and they make so much income, and I'm thinking I wish I could have reasonable income, or actually point people in the right direction when it comes to certain anime shows, because I get very pissed off and aggravated. Yeah, because one of the easiest examples was with WatchMojo, that channel, and how much they pretty much exploited anime up the everywhere. And then I come across other channels which I'll be seeing lists and it's total BS. None of that makes sense, even when you're trying to make a positive thing. There was one called 10 movies that stole from anime, and I watched of it, giving it a shred of doubt, thinking, maybe this person knows what they're talking about. Maybe this company actually cares about anime with something this positive. And then I see the video, and it just no. Sorry.
God damn it.
No. They can't even get their positives
WatchMojo
right.
is all quality.
So the funny thing is that when I started YouTube, it was actually out of spite as well. It wasn't not necessarily a good motive. It's man, these videos suck. I'm gonna make a better one. That was that's how I started. Honestly, it was once again had to do with lists, because people were making these are the top 10 Dragon Ball Z movies, and that's how it all started for me. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna turn into an interview or not.
No. We're just basically here to rave about very gone manly shit.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for.
Also, Super Epic Wolf started his channel out of spite, and it worked out well for him. So don't you worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
All motivations are noble if you produce content.
Yeah, that's my justification for my hatred, so yes. It's this video sucks, I'll make something better. But don't you feel bad for, insulting people? But if it's good quality, then it's okay. It's justice,
So if we want to go to different topics that we all could be interested in, or have a common interest in, basically the manly stuff. And just before recording, we started talking about this. How about manly stuff nowadays? What's going on? Because we're not in the 80s anymore, or the 90s.
We are? Oh, I didn't know that.
Like, wow, this is newsflash.
Oh.
Like, where are all my OVAs? I need more. So yeah, what would you say? Like, as sort of a veteran, or like knowing a lot of stuff from back then, how do you like feel about today?
Well, some of my other friends are a little more on the angry. Well, when I first talked to them, they were more on the angry side about like, man, there should be anime like this and not like that. You know, insulting the current generation of things. But they mellowed out. That they become calmer and more understanding of what's going on. And I guess that's how I feel too, because strangely, even though my favorite character is Kenshiro, the first manly show that I watched was actually Golgo 13.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah, that, and I was watching Fist of North Star at the same time, but I wasn't actually that into it. It wasn't like a little later that I started, full blown into it, and then other series just came along, and I just kept looking for shows that was similar to Fist of North Star, and then it just kept going and going and going up until the end of 2015. And the way I feel about the current stuff is that I do wish there was more masculine options, just so people could be a little more have a little more diversity in their anime favorites, or stuff or whenever they want to claim something as, oh, this anime is very, very good, or the other reasons, because a lot of modern fans, they don't want to watch something that's older in the 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yeah, that I've seen sometimes as well, that basically it's old and therefore should not be watched. It's a bit sad, because it's just a different style, like especially like different stuff, animation, like feeling, atmosphere and stuff. Like, it has its own charm, really.
Yeah, because it goes on also on the subject of character designs. We were mentioning this earlier before we recorded, that one of my complaints is that whenever a manly parody comes out, or a very masculine looking character appears, everyone assumes that that's gotta be a JoJo reference or something of the sort. Because there was one time where, even on the JoJo wiki, someone posted a possible Dio reference, which was clearly a reference of Baki the Grappler instead. And so I was just, calm down, people. Come on, just be a little more open. And that's one reason, because I remember there's a video flowing around that says like top 10 JoJo parodies, and one of the clear images on the thumbnail is a parody of Kenshiro. So stuff like that. I just kind of wish, I just don't want any confusion to happen. That's why I kind of want for there to be more current manly things, just so people could learn about, so JoJo wasn't the only thing that has muscles.
Yeah, it's really just sort of a lack of a reference point, I guess. And to be fair, I think things like older anime are coming back into a style, because the idea of aesthetics has really sort of taken root, especially in the anime community. So things like older things like Dirty Pair and Urusei Yatsura, sorry, while not necessarily manly, are sort of coming back around, so we may sort of see perhaps a resurgence. I don't know, even if it's just things like, say, City Hunter. Yeah.
Like, I think JoJo really kicked like a bit of a renaissance into gear. Like, we're getting, I think, a new Baki OVA. Like Ashita no Joe, new thing was
New Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
We got a little bit of Devilman.
Oh yeah, Devilman by USR. So yeah, I think it's coming back, like not in the huge style, but at least in a sort of OVA format, and I can deal with that actually. That's very good.
If out of the 60 anime that come out every season, one of them is like old school Gar and Manliness, that's fine. But even that number seems a bit high currently.
Well, there are other shows that you could, I guess, put into that style, because I guess the muscular manly style is kind of gone. But you still get shows that you could consider, I guess, fairly manly. Things like ACCA, well, a bit more low key, perhaps did sort of go for that aesthetic as it was.
Or in some cases, you would just have like a show that just happens to have a manly character, but not necessarily a manly anime.
Yeah.
Because one example.
Garo, I would probably.
Yeah, because his name is Sword. I mean, how manly is that?
His
I don't
parents
know.
just
There's a
called him
character
so.
called Saber in Fate. It's not exactly manly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it went from King Arthur into like man to woman. So
Mind you, there's a character in Fire Emblem Gaiden and the remake, the Echoes, that's what it's called Saber as well, and he's pretty fucking guy. Here, I'll see if I can get a picture of him.
Well, we all know that the swords are way manlier than sabers. if that makes any sense at all.
For even like manly aesthetics, I would even add like All Out from like a few seasons ago, which I still haven't finished. But I thought like, yeah, I think that wouldn't be something that would be like up there if Jojo hadn't been there. Like that was like all the muscles, like a very unusual style.
Jojo is a bit of a weird one. It just kind of transcends time. Like it came back in 2012 and everyone just accepted it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't immediately, from what I remember. People didn't gravitate towards it that fast. They still found it. From what I remember, people were hesitant because they thought it was too gay for them.
There is nothing like too gay. Jojo's the perfect amount of fabulous.
You know, that's what was going around for the longest time, especially when the manga was still, back in the Duwang days. Because back then we didn't read Duwang for fun. We read that seriously.
It was all we had.
Yeah. That and I guess a modern thing would be the new upcoming Basilisk anime, and then last year we had Tiger Mask Double.
I keep forgetting about the Basilisk anime. That's a thing. I have no idea how they got the idea to actually make a sequel to Basilisk. I don't hear anyone talking about Basilisk, but here we are, and it's a good time to be alive.
Well, that anime does have a pachinko, so there must be something going on in Japan.
Oh, we're well versed in pachinko lore here.
Yes. Yeah. We just basically live off pachinko cutscenes nowadays.
Yeah. That reworked Macross. That reworked SDF Macross OP that was only made because of a pachinko machine and stuff like that.
Oh man.
I think
all I have.
I remember there was an article that Akira Kamiya said that he actually got more money voicing for a pachinko.
That wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
It's probably a bigger industry than anime is.
I mean, that's what Konami's move to.
Yeah, and
card games and pachinko
is well known for making smart decisions.
I can't even imagine. Like, I played pachinko recently because I'm currently playing Yakuza, where I can basically play like real pachinko machines in the game, and that's just misery. You're just watching like little metal balls fly around and they do clacking noises, and maybe something happens on your screen, but that's it.
There's no skill involved.
I felt a lot of misery watching Kaiji play pachinko, so I can relate to that.
Yeah. The poor man.
I'm sure Elena can tell you a thing or two about Kaiji.
I can tell. Just like, I wonder what gives it away. Certainly not the profile. Certainly not the profile image. Zawa.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I find it so great. It's like season 2 is all about how pachinko is basically a rigged game and absolutely awful. And then season 3 basically has a pachinko adaptation. This is so meta, I can't even wrap my head around it.
How do you miss the point of the series so badly?
I don't know.
Pachinko is a miracle, but not a good one.
But a miracle.
Yeah.
I want to say there was another manly show that was kind of recent, but I can't remember what it was. I know there was something else that was kind of big, but I just don't remember exactly what show was it. I know it wasn't Time as Double. I said that already, and I'm drawing blanks.
Fate Apocrypha had like a biker dude.
He had dual shotguns as well.
Oh yeah, true.
Well, Dragon Ball Super is still going.
Well,
but it's
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that. I don't know, because I don't really. Because some people have actually asked me that. Do you consider like Dragon Ball a manly thing? It's sort of like it kind of has the look, but it doesn't necessarily have that spirit. Not the '80s spirit, that's for sure. Like Fist of North Star, it doesn't have that drama of the something happened or those manly moments where friends get together. Even Cromartie High School has moments like that because I remember when they're I forgot what episode it was, but oh yeah, it's when they have Mekazawa's little brother and they're like they're wondering who to take the phone, and then I remember one of the characters was like, "I'll take it. We're counting on you, Hayashida." And then just for that, it's like, calm down. Like,
to be fair, like phone conversations are terrifying.
Yeah.
Also, I'm currently watching Cromartie High School. It's the best thing ever. It's wonderful.
I wish they did the whole manga, but they didn't.
Okay, so it's incomplete. Cool.
Yeah. Well, most comedy adaptations are like that. They never do the whole thing for some reason. But
okay, but it's good to know that I can continue reading once I've completed watching it.
Well, like the anime tells you that you miss out the start in the anime as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. From the manga, you actually need to read from the very beginning because there's a lot of stuff missing for some. Like, there's actually jokes within those adapted episodes they didn't put in for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, it's worth reading all the way through. But what I hate is the way it ends. It just kind of just stops. There's like there's no like celebratory thing. Oh, I remember what it was. Sorry, I just had to enter something. Yeah, I actually remember the show I was gonna bring up. It was actually Lupin III.
Oh, hell yeah! There we go.
Yeah, with the recent movies like with Jigen's Gravestone and Goemon's Spray of Blood. So
yeah,
there's that side of masculinity.
Definitely.
No, I'm number one Lupin fan here, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like, yeah, I don't really know much about the AnimeHERO guy, and Boris is like, well, he did videos of Lupin. It's like, he's a great guy. I love him. He's our best guest yet.
Yeah, just watch those 4 videos. It's like that's all you need to watch on my channel. It's like I don't. Yeah, but I do want to talk about Lupin like in the future because, well, I guess it's a good conversation piece right now because Lupin the Third and there's some other masculine themed shows that they have different flavors of manliness. I guess that's the best way to put it because Fist of North Star is like the staple of masculinity, but then you get something like Lupin, which clearly there's still a masculine charm to it, but there's despite not having any muscular characters, there's just a certain I guess manly in spirit, especially with characters like Jigen and Goemon and Lupin himself at times.
Yeah, the charisma of the characters, I guess, works with, like you said, this sort of spirit and their ideals, and how they act. I don't know. Lupin's 90% comfy and 10% head scratching because some episodes are just weird.
Oh, Red Jacket is the more Red Jacket you see, the stranger it gets.
I love Red Jacket though; it's my favorite, just because of that.
Well, Pink Jacket is sort of a combination of green and red because there's still some absurd things, but this still has a lot of that crime factor that Red Jacket doesn't always have. But I don't know, they all have something unique to them. Like Red Jacket has the best group chemistry with everybody.
Yeah. I think Green Jacket probably has the best Fujiko, but I don't
know. I don't know. I like her in red, even though she's like very bitchy in that one. But I'm like, you're such a backstabber, bud.
Well,
you look good.
That's the character, though.
Yeah.
Like, you're our backstabber.
I
should know better, but my monkey punch just wants to,
I've only seen like a few episodes of L'Avventura Italiana, the 2015-16 one.
Yeah, the blue.
It's very good still, I'd say. It's very well animated like throughout, and they do introduce some really fun characters like Nyx and other bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the MI6 agent?
Yeah, because when he gets mad in certain scenes, the animation style changes.
Yeah, it's the sort of like the animation can't even contain him sort of thing, and he smears.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, his anger comes out of his head and affects the animation. So I'm so mad. I gotta change the art style. But personally, I prefer the gritty Lupin as a personal choice, though.
Reminds me, I've seen only the first episode of a woman called Fujiko Mine. And that was already like I thought like oof, wow, that's going to be the thing to watch, but I really liked it so far.
There's only one thing in that show that I don't like,
and it's the ending.
No, not the ending. It's just, like I don't care about the ending, and when compared to the scene that happened in episode freaking 4, the very freaking beginning, that scene that should not exist.
Do you wish to illuminate us why that is? I've no clue. I haven't seen it yet. So.
Well, if you're familiar with just how Lupin is, between how the whole Lupin wants Fujiko and oh no, in episode 4, someone else gets to score with Fujiko, and that character should not be next to her.
We have broken our guest, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just
should not have done that.
It's just so wrong. The best way I could put it, it's like if maybe to try to have a comparison. It's like if what would be a really weird pairing. It's like if the Joker, instead of the Joker shooting Barbara Gordon and breaking her spine, instead he ends up like screwing with her.
Okay,
so that's sort of
probably happened at one point.
Well, I mean, but seeing that Lupin, I don't know, episode 4 to me was just way off. Just like, no. All my other friends are telling me, what scene, hero? What are you talking about? That scene never happened. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that never happened. Yeah,
it was all just in your imagination.
Yeah,
a fever dream. Never happened.
Yeah, that never happened. Like the first 30 minutes of Killing Joke, that didn't happen either.
No, it doesn't exist.
Dude.
Yeah. So anyways, manly things.
I do hope that Black Jacket Lupin becomes a bit of a mainstay. They smoke the drugs in there. It's pretty good.
Boris is in with the drug culture.
Yeah, I'm down with the vape niche, bro.
The hell?
Actually, I ain't, but whatever. It's yeah.
You're just trying to be cool, old man. That's all you are.
I'm just trying to act cool in front of the kids. I'm down with the drugs. Okay, do we have a track to get back on, or?
Well, I was gonna ask a question. Like, so, what about gay manliness? Is that a thing?
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Jojo exists, so it's definitely a thing.
That is like the purest amount of fabulous plus manly that you can ever get, and I'm pretty sure that also awakened a lot of things in many people.
I like the way Jojo bridges the gap. It's like almost an even distribution.
Well, like it's sort of the intersection of the communities, as shows focused around men attract people that want to see men together. And that's probably part of the reason we're all here. No, but it's sort of a nice marriage, I guess, of communities, and it helps, I guess, both of them grow nicely. And I haven't seen anything too obtrusive. Like, I don't see people getting very angry at each other about this kind of stuff at all. So I don't know. I think it works out nicely.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the people who has access to the Tumblr lands, but I don't residue there because it tends to be sometimes not good. Like, I haven't seen like any fandom wars or anything like over, I don't know, Jojo or something like that's somewhere else. Like, normally in there everything is calm. Like, even like manly games or something like Yakuza or stuff. Like, everybody's chill.
It's a miracle.
And the Fukumoto community, pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, all 12 people that we are.
It's a bit more than that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's 13, you know. Well, actually, going on the whole subject of the whole like, well, when it comes to Baki the Grappler, I've always been kind of curious if the author was actually gay or not, or if he just really likes muscles. I don't know, because there's some imagery where the manly characters are like very, very little stuff.
It's the same. Like I have the two Baki the Grappler DVDs on my shelf. And like basically I would just open them, it's just a huge load of muscle, and think like, is that the point where it is too far? I think yes, maybe. But then again, it's also fun.
Well, to be honest, Toriko has more exaggerated muscles than Baki the Grappler. But Baki's muscles are still pretty, yeah, they're pretty out there.
As an artist myself, I can tell you that drawing muscles is just a lot of fun. You get to a bunch of details and line work onto something, and it's a good time. But I guess it also comes across as a bit questionable, maybe.
I have the French release of the Jojo OVAs, and they came with a lot of interview and like behind the scenes stuff.
Oh.
I don't know who it was, like one of the guys who worked on the OVAs. I don't think it was the director, but I think like one of the designers had to meet up with Araki and was sort of scared because he didn't knew him, and he said like, yeah, I don't know, like does he like men? Doesn't he? What do I do? How do I approach this? Can I talk to him? And then you see just the actual like panel where they sit together. It's like, no, okay, he's actually just chill, and this Araki smiling and sitting there. Yeah.
Actually, I think I have that exact same bonus feature too on the US OVA releases.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have that because I remember in that one they talked about the Darby the Gambler episode, assuming this is the same bonus feature, but who knows. But I do get annoyed is that with Italy and France, how they get so much. I'm thinking, we're really late on the ball. We're already getting Devilman manga, and I can only just imagine like a skit right now, thinking like, hey, we're getting the Devilman manga, and then some Italians like, oh, but we had it for many, many years. But what about all these other things? Like you like Jojo, that's just a start. What about Fist of North Star? We have the manga over here. What about you guys? Lupin III, we have everything. What do you have?
Nothing.
Some posh Italian. Why you gotta be so mean?
Those damn arrogant Italians stealing all manly stuff.
Have to wonder what it is with Italy that they're getting everything in this regard. Like, they even got anime back in the 70s and no one else did.
Yeah.
I mean, internationally.
Yeah, I think that didn't even Lupin the third like run in Italy immediately on TV or something? Like nearly simultaneously with Japan?
I'm not sure about its early debut, but I do know that the part 4, the Italian Adventure, ones. That did premiere in Italy first. Because, lucky Italians.
Yeah, of course. For me, it's especially the French, because I grew up very close to the French border, and I speak French fluently. And I caught, like, back then, when like, stuff on TV, because, like, of course, you get French TV if you live close to the border. And they had, like, there's a lot of seinen shows and, like, old OVAs that just ran on TV. Where I caught a few, like as a small kid. And especially, even, like, violent ones. And I wonder still, like, yeah, they seem to be cool. Like, of course, they have, like, a huge culture already with their, like, comics and their own animation. So, yeah, I guess just basically love for one, and then just the other one happened too. Like, what, the French have such amazing releases, I can't wrap my head around it.
Oh,
like, how is it even possible?
They have the Cobra manga. That's something I wish I had.
They have too much. We need to take it away from them.
Well, that's why I'm curious with Part 5 Lupin coming out, since it takes place in France. Are the French gonna get it first?
Good question.
Well, it's a love that goes both ways, because Araki sure loves Italy, and they love him back, I guess.
It's like, like, hey, you love me, I'll love you back. What are you gonna give me? Will we get the latest volume of Jojo Leon or something? You know, a little extra, if you get what I mean. Like,
we gave you that one TV cook who dresses up as Dio. So, what do we get back? You get a Jojo part that's set all in Italy.
Nice.
You get Taste of a Liar.
Again, here's the thing. Can we actually get Italy to finance the JoJo Part 5 anime?
That's gonna happen anyway. It's gonna take them a while, but it's gonna happen. Because Part 5 is popular in Japan as well, I think. It's just a matter of time. David Production are just dick teasing us.
Have they? I haven't even seen a tease of anything.
Well, the absence of anything is the tease.
Oh.
Yeah, they're just sitting there on the high throne going, haha, we're just making ourselves rare. And one day your thirst will be too much, and then we'll be back.
Well, what did he even do in the past? I don't know how long.
The Rohan OVA, which is, I think, just subbed now a few days ago.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere, like, on YouTube, just, flowing around. But personally, I'm just waiting for Part 5 to happen, just so we could get to Part 6, because I just want to see Jolene Cujo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, same.
Well, I do want to see Part 5, because when I read it, I envisioned the action scenes to be, like, really, really good and fast-paced. So I'm just kind of hoping that transition does occur in the adaptation. And maybe it was just me just reading the manga and thinking, man, the action's really good. I wonder how the anime will turn out. Oh, it's not as cool as I remember. Oh, shit.
Well, Tom should be here for this conversation. A local Part 5 fanboy.
There's always one in every group of friends.
I still haven't finished Part 5, and I think that this is going to be a running joke now. Because I think this is going all through the podcast.
Pretty sure you said in the first episode, I'm still reading Part 5.
Yeah. Yeah,
to be fair, I haven't read any Steel Ball Run in about a year either, so
okay.
We're in the same boat.
We're all set.
And I still haven't made my review of Steel Ball Run, despite, all these years.
What are all these fake fans in the GARcast? I have read every JoJo part, and I've read some of them twice.
I really want to read JoJo
God
Alien,
damn it.
so I should probably finish Steel Ball Run.
Well, they have the color releases now for everything, so fucking do it.
Yeah.
Tom, we need you to rave about JoJo Part 5.
Part
Come
5?
on,
Oh, dude, the fights in Part 5 are the absolute best. I've said this so many times. The White Album fight is the tensest fight in JoJo, just because it goes on for so long, and like the shit with the car, and then the finale with Guido and shit. It's really fucking cool.
Is White Album the one that's freezing and shit?
Yeah, so White Album's the guy in the suit that's freezing everything.
Yeah.
The fight I want to see is the Bruno and Mista against Prosciutto and Pesce.
Oh yeah, like any of the fights in Part 5, I think need to be animated. They'd be so good. Even the really weird fights with oh god, what's his name? The guy that has Aerosmith, I can't remember his name.
Naranjo.
Naranjo.
Yeah, there you go.
I gotta see the fight against Metallica, and also which name they're gonna come up with for the stand Metallica in the subs.
Steel Elika, no.
It'll be hilarious if it just turns to AC/DC. Like, wait a minute.
This is my stand, heavy metal.
Yeah, I could kind of see that, especially with stands like Flaccid Pancake.
Ah, dude. What's the one for Dirty Deeds Done Cheap is?
Oh, the Dastardly Deeds at a Reasonable Price, something like that.
Yeah. That's
the best translation.
Reasonable price, you say? Explain. For the sake of America, I will commit murder at a reasonable price. Yeah, but the one stand that I just never Well, the one fight that I'm not too excited to see in part 5 is the one with I think the character's name was Carne. I'm not sure, but it's the one that that shows up to die, and unleashes his stand in the plane.
That's isn't that Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what the stand is called. Because I don't remember if there was this one YouTube video from this really old Jojo fan from way back in the day that he made a list of the weirdest stands, and one of them was Notorious B.I.G. And the thing is, he was kind of wondering, like, how does this stand work? I mean, especially when this guy fully knows that he has to go there to die. Like, how does he know his stand would work that way? and
he's just really, really dedicated to the cause.
But I can only wonder, so what was he doing before he was called on the job? It's sort of like a weird thing to picture. Is that, Diablo has this, I got this organization of stand user assassins. Like, what does this guy do? He could, kill people by making them age. What does this guy do? He can make people die with elevation and stuff. What does that guy do? He can unleash the stand, but it only works if he dies.
Well, like, with Diablo's ability, technically, you could see him getting, like, killed and then undeaded. Shit like that. It'd be weird. Diablo's stand is really fucking convoluted, is the problem.
To me, there's
King
an easy way to
Crimson.
describe it. I found an easy way to describe what it does. It's very simply. After many
just
years of
works.
research. No, it's something better. It's just a stand that dodges, actually.
Just dodges.
That's what it does. It dodges attacks. That's what it does. It's just a counter dodge. That's all it does, but the thing is, even with the logic of explaining how it's supposed to work, it's kind of contradicted when Diablo could grab blood and spray it on people's faces so they could blind them. It was like, hey, I thought you said you couldn't affect them. What was that? That's clearly affecting them. But whatever.
It just works.
Can't wait to the day when Crunchyroll subs that part. It's like, what explanation you're gonna give us?
I just remembered the one snippet from an Araki interview, like when people ask him, like, how does this stand work? How does that work? Like, and then he said, I don't even remember drawing them. Like, people remember my stuff better than I do. Like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, in that same interview, I think that's the one where he says, like, I want Kira to win or something like that. It was like, yeah. Well, I guess this relates to the whole masculinity topic, because I was very sad when Part 4 was announced and they didn't show any of their manly designs, like the beginning of the manga. I was like, oh. I really wanted to see the manly Josuke, but no, that didn't happen. It's like, no.
Yeah.
I just got the middle points of Josuke. Design 2.75 out of the many that he has in Part 4. So, whatever.
They went for consistency for that one.
Yeah.
Which is not what they did with Iggy in Part 3, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, David, what are you doing, David? I wanted to draw Iggy, but David, Iggy doesn't look the same. It's like a different species.
Hey, look at this human-faced dog.
What are you doing, David? I'm drawing what I want to do, but it's not consistent, David.
Listen, this is now my headcanon that David Production is just one dude called David, and he's doing everything.
When is Part 5 coming out, David? Where's the teaser? What's with this robot, David? I just want Part 5, damn it. David.
I just wonder what David looks like.
I just kind of picture a guy with a normal shirt and pants and shoes, but on his face is just blank that says David.
He's just an all-American boy.
I just want just one tiny Araki accessory somewhere. Just, I don't know, a golden lock as the earring or something. just one detail that super stands out. That's David. He draws the Jojo.
He does it all by himself.
Oh, manly things. Oh, actually, there's been a lot of people telling me they wish David Production did Fist of the North Star or something else. Something else that's manly, because back to the whole Part 4 animation, I was just really sad that, wow, Part 1 and 2, they look pretty cool with their colors and everything, and their redesigned pointy edges and abstract, designs a bit. But then when Part 3 comes in, oh, wow, everyone looks super detailed. Part 4, the detail's gone.
Yeah, it's more like the sort of suave smoothness over everything. I found it fitting, especially with the whole the color design, like the super purple sky and yellow, whatever, the super crashing colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that super crisp, but it still looks good.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was getting some weird Berserk flashbacks watching Diamond is Unbreakable, because every now and then there will be a very detailed close-up, like with Rohan says, I refuse, or with a close-up of Echo showing up.
Yeah.
And then I'm just thinking, wow, this reminds me of Berserk 2016-17 when they had those, fully detailed close-ups.
We don't talk about that.
We don't.
It does not exist.
It doesn't. I don't know what you're referring to. There was no Berserk series in 2016 or 17.
There wasn't? Oh gosh, I must be misremembering things. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, actually, speaking of... Oh, sorry for interrupting. I'll just say this really quickly, is that, because there was a Crunchyroll article recently that apparently the 90s Berserk anime always had a subtitle with it. It was something, I don't remember what it was, but it was something like Something of the Storm, which I'm thinking, was that always a thing? Because I don't recall.
Yeah, so they've changed it to that on Mal, I think. They've added a subtitle to it, and nobody. I can't say I've ever heard anybody use it with a subtitle.
Yeah, it's like Swordwind Chronicle, I think.
Yeah, that's the one.
That might
like
be it. Yeah.
Swordwind Chronicle.
Yeah. There was
What's that even? It sounds like some bootleg JRPG that someone brought over.
I thought it was the Golden Age arc.
Yeah.
But now people's gonna be more confused between the movies. Like, you need to watch the Golden Age arc. Oh, the movies? No, you gotta watch Swordwind Chronicles. What's that?
There it is. Swordwind Chronicle.
Berserk and the Swordwind Chronicles.
It sounds like a very bad superhero team.
No,
what is Swordwind Chronicles?
I was thinking like He-Man type of thing with Berserk, with Guts. Like, I have the dragons. Oh no, I don't have the Dragon Slayer yet. Shit. I'm sorry. I have a big sword. Berserk and the Swordwind Chronicles.
He's a big clanging piece of metal.
I thought you said that 16-17 show didn't exist. What's this?
I didn't mention anything about 16-17. I'm just mentioning clangs.
Oh, you mean... Oh, Ratchet and Clang. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the sound that happens when you slice a ghost? Clang. That's it.
Yeah.
When you take when you kill a rabbit with a knife. Clang.
Also clang. All is clang.
Well, to be honest though, in a more serious approach with that show, with the show that must not be named, I did hear that people did get like a bit of those who haven't read the manga of said adaptation, that were more open about it. So like, that's a good thing, at least. But yeah, talking about that show is pretty difficult, because I do feel that people dismiss it, like, for obvious reasons. But honestly, I know I'm fully aware that if it was in 2D, no one would be complaining. So.
For me, it was the direction itself. Like, I don't know if this.
Those sweeping shots that spun around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that in the pub scene directly in the beginning, the camera just goes upside down.
Oh yeah,
and
that happens a couple
head.
of times.
I don't remember that actually.
It was a fever dream. That didn't happen. Like, yeah, I don't even know why. That is, from any point of cinematography sense, it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if that was in 2D, that would make no sense.
Imagine if you are a legendary composer, Susumu Hirasawa, and you show up and you're the only one who does your job well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to address like really quickly, like one adaptation in brackets that we're gonna get is Fist of the North Star by the Yakuza developers.
That's the
I'm
best
looking-
possible adaptation.
Yay! I'm
Whole
very
new
looking forward to that.
story. Whole new story, new characters, and oh gosh, it's freaking Kenshiro. Who else would you expect?
Yeah, this just the trailer where they revealed it with basically a Kenshiro standing in Kamurocho, like blowing guys up. What more you need, really? Like this is perfect.
I was kind of like upset by that because I saw the other trailer first, and then I saw the Yakuza reveal with that, which would have been much cooler out of nowhere. Be like, whoa, what did that come from? What does this have to do with anything? And then see the actual full trailer with all the other stuff. But I am curious what they're gonna do with this new storyline.
Oh, I just hope they're gonna bring it over. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But I think the Yakuza games are doing pretty good recently, so let's hope for the best. I mean, it's the best state Fist of the North Star franchise has been in a while. At least it's not another fucking comedy spin-off. I've had more than enough of those, and they aren't even fucking funny.
There's only 3 of them.
Only 3.
Only. Well, at least we got the southern portions with the other one, but at least. Because we got Fist of North Star briefly with updated artwork. I'm thinking, if too bad, it's only for 2 minutes.
Oh god, no, like super short form.
I mean, at least those movies were pretty good.
Still waiting on a localized release.
Well, we have one here in the German-speaking area, which is a weird
do?
miracle.
Yeah. We don't even have the manga right now.
Yep.
Like, it's so strange that they chose to bring this over.
It's not even a big thing here, but there you go. We have the movies.
Oh, man. Because going back to what we were saying earlier, because there is like a lot of Fist of North Star activity recently this year because of the that E1 book about Fist of North Star manga being translated into English. So there's that possibility.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to throw the link in all the pictures on the screen here because that looks so good.
Oh man, I wish they would deliver that book over here.
Yeah,
I'd buy it. It seems to be US only. Yeah. We're a third world country.
Nobody likes us.
You complain. I live in the worst place for getting anime. Yeah, nothing. Even buying manga costs me twice as much as anywhere else, just for shipping. Hell. Rip. That's what I get for living in the middle of the ocean.
You're kind of Europe.
Oh, the anti-world. The Europe of the South. Well, I mean, Australia's in Eurovision. Maybe.
Oh yeah, true.
Maybe one day we'll make it too.
Well, the only other thing was the Fist of Blue Sky was gonna get a sequel series.
Oh, cool.
Fist of Blue Sky is one of the founding images of this podcast. Is Kenshiro with his feet in the tiny car.
Yeah. I love that one. Like very buff uni professor who is just too big for this tiny car and decides to just stomp his way through the roof and just stand on there. It's perfect.
I just hope the artist for the new manga can emulate the style well, because it's not gonna be drawn by Tetsuo Hara as far as I know.
Oh, that's kind of surprising. Well, I hope so, because there's some people that could do that, because there was this spin-off for Tokochuku recently, and it's drawn by someone else, and they really replicated the 80s character designs, because the way the original author draws now for Otokojuku, it's like a little rough when compared to his older stuff. So I'm thinking, like, what happened? Because even Tetsuo Hara, his character designs have gotten like really off lately, especially when some of his women, they start to look a little anorexic.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, Hara also has the problem with his eyes. I think I don't know, something about him being partially blind in one of them, so he fucks up perspective and he needs assistance. to fix it. But yeah, whatever. I mean, some of those Fist of the North Star manga spin-offs, the Guidance, they also have pretty fun art styles. So they don't have to be exactly accurate, but just don't make it too off looking, I guess. I don't know. Make it cool. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, like replicating art styles is also very important, like, to get like the sort of the feel. It doesn't feel like a huge break, that you can see like, oh, modernity has happened from there.
Well, an art style is a part of what a manga is, very much. They talk about Berserk, and people are like, oh, well, the Berserk's always kind of been a problem because Berserk's far more about really intricate detail and is still seen than moving and things like that. So it's hard, I guess, to replicate art style even from anime to manga or manga to manga.
I do remember, I think it was 2016 also where this show came out, because I remember there was a lot of people complaining about Terra Formars when the second season came out because of the art style change.
Oh, yeah.
That was an entirely different studio.
Yeah.
That's a show that happened.
Sure did.
I was just told to read the manga because I think, if I remember correctly, the anime had like very terrible censoring.
Well, on its premiere, there was terrible censoring, and a lot of people were basically bitching left and right, like, oh, they censored the whole thing. And honestly, the censorship was pretty bad. There will be like completely blurry images and very huge censored black circles, not bars, but black circles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But people,
the MS Paint censoring.
Yeah, and but the thing is though, people only had to wait like about 4 weeks for them to release the uncensored version, like all in one go. So pretty much all the complaints become null and void in about a couple of months later.
I mean, the first season of Terra Formars was directed by the same guy that did Technolize and Shigurui and all of that stuff. So there's definitely some interesting like visual style going on, but it's, I don't know, the quality of the actual show can be debated.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that at all.
Yeah, well, the same thing happens in the manga though, because the thing is, in the first season they kept the a lot of the exposition from the manga, which explains how the biology works of these things and that. So then they would have a narrator in the first anime, and then the second season got rid of the narrator and lowered all the expositions significantly, so the story will flow better. But I don't know, it's a strange blend, because the first season did something better than the second season, but at the same time did something worse, because the first series would use a lot of grayscale and blurry imagery for whatever reason, and then the second series would be very bright and colorful, but at the loss of detail, and there'll be times where it doesn't move too well, and then there will be times where the first series they would move too fast and that you couldn't really catch what was going on screen. So it's like it's not a perfect adaptation of anything. And then, despite the tone shifts in the manga, because it does happen, it goes it goes from horror into like this tokusatsu type of style of storytelling.
Oh, okay. Did not expect that.
Yeah,
there's
because
also the live action movie happened as well.
That was Miike, wasn't it?
Yeah. But
Nice.
it's.
Shit.
I'm not sure how much you can actually squeeze out of Terra Formars, but okay.
Well, Terra Formars just like all right, I guess. It's because you know, there's a big body count, and it's sort of like, should I care? type of thing.
The best part about Terra Formars is all those weird animal effects you're getting.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know there's this crab that can shoot lasers? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a shrimp with really cool eyesight, which would be pretty helpful for a boxer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. And then, well, again, going back to the whole masculine things, that's another show that did had a lot of that, especially with like Michelle K. Davis. It's like, yeah, we got a one manly woman that can, make men explode. Yeah.
Sounds like a good premise to me.
Yeah, it's like
I like the part where the only German character in the show is called Adolf.
Yeah,
Because,
Boris. Sorry.
That's a name that children in Germany still get.
Totally.
Well, Boris and I were
Yeah.
just talking last night, watching Knights and Magic quickly, and it's just Japan and its like vaguely German sounding names that it likes to throw in. What was it? The character in Knight's Magic was just called Freisberg or something like that.
Yeah.
Freisberg.
And then like was it recreated? Her last name was literally just Österreich, just Austria.
Yep.
Oh god.
Japan always has the obsession with the languages it can pronounce the least.
I can sing you songs, epic tales about things I've seen in wrong German in anime. Because it's so funny, because German is a very easy language to get wrong. Because there are just so many like rules and stuff and words that needs to be tweaked. Like everything has a different thing that basically you change one thing in a sentence, you have to change the whole sentence. Verbs are at the end of the sentence. That also makes sense. So this is why German, when it's pronounced wrong or just basically built wrong, it immediately sounds very, very wrong. And it takes out any amount of seriousness that you just had.
Language barriers, then.
Yeah.
Because
mispronouncing words is very manly.
Because because I can relate to that with the whole like Hispanic background. Because I remember in Fairy Tail there's these villains called what were they called? It was a Spanish name, Oración Seis, but the dub would constantly say Oración. But I'm thinking, can't you guys cannot say Oración? I mean, come on. Please. And,
it's right there.
I mean, they keep saying it over and over again, so it doesn't help that I was kind of like, that's how it sucked me out. And I was going to ask you guys, since some of you are German here, is that how do you pronounce this word? Is it Brocken or broken, or is there something else to it?
Brocken.
Brocken, yeah.
It is broken? I thought it was Brocken. Oh, gosh.
Okay. If you see a CK, that means the vowel that comes before it needs to be pronounced very short. So it's not broken, it's brocken. It needs to be short. And that is either means a piece that has broken off or is a mountain.
Yeah, because there's a couple of German characters that I come across that have that name, so I don't know if it was supposed to be brocken or broken, and so
it'll likely be going for them being a mountain, being big.
It's a very one specific mountain, but I don't know where it is.
Yeah, okay, so from now on, I should say Broken Junior then. So I don't know, because saying broken, because saying that in a character name, I can't help but think, are they pronouncing it wrong or are they saying it right? Because I don't know. Even I'm not so sure.
I mean, the Attack on Titan openings are always fun to watch.
Yeah. For me, it was the theme song of Kill la Kill, the mother character.
Oh, dude.
Like that song, I didn't even notice that was German. The pronunciation was so all over the place. I thought, like, wait, no, that isn't German. It was. I couldn't believe it.
Why do they do that to themselves?
I don't know.
I mean, at least they haven't caught on to the Slavic languages yet, so I don't have anything to complain there.
Good. Safe.
Well, someone needs to fan the Lady Ragu's theme song then in German.
I think I have seen it somewhere with like somewhat okay German.
Well,
but still, you have to super tweak words because, like, melody-wise and rhythm-wise, it just doesn't fit. It just stretches out words and shortens them so they don't sound like words anymore.
You can belt that out in your free time, Elena.
Yeah. It's my new goal for today.
Yeah. For the GARcast, I must do this.
I must sacrifice myself.
Embrace my German heritage.
GARcast is
for the anime community.
Just smothered in Germans. It's like we even have German voice actor for an intro and German music and all kinds of neat stuff. Ali and I are just kind of sitting here.
Oh yeah, true.
We're all very multicultural in here.
Although I have to admit, I think one series that got the Germanness quite right in its words and its usage was Legend of the Galactic Heroes for me.
Well,
Like
aside from the title.
Aside from the title, which is absolutely wrong.
Which
that is
makes no sense.
Heldensagen vom Himmelsinsel, which is ow. You don't do that. It sounds grammatically super wrong.
Also, some of those words don't make any sense.
Nah, they just really don't. But I like that all the German words that are in there, or all the names, feel super old timey, or are either taken from like the Nibelungen or like other like legends. So they have an old timey feel. And that's what I like about them, that they don't feel like we're trying to emulate German, but like, yeah, we just have something from your literature or something. Like, I like that, like Lohengrin, that is from like Wagner's Nibelungen stuff. Like that's cool. So it's not made up, at least.
I mean, even aside from German, you have some really mangled English in anime as well.
Well,
I always remember the one scene from Symphogear where the lady tries to speak English and is instead invoking an old one.
Oh, it's the other thing as well, is like when they get someone that's always got a very thick Japanese accent that's not confident with the language, just sort of speaking it. So that was in like Zankyo no Terra, as they were FBI agents, and they were speaking like this in English.
Oh shit. Yeah, I remember. I gotta give a shout out to the one guy that voiced the foreign character in what was the name? The fucking Attack on Titan rip-off show.
That was an actual American guy who got for us. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. That was an actual American guy.
That was the best.
He was a great character.
He speaks Japanese with an English accent, and it's pretty good. That guy's great.
Yeah. I don't remember much from that show, but it was him and Back Muscle Girl, which seemed to awaken a lot of things in a lot of people.
Yeah. Back Muscle Girl should have been the protagonist. Also, that's her name. It's canon.
Yeah, it's Back Muscle Girl.
I don't know. I quite liked Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, but I think we've been over this already when we did the in like India thing.
Like the first episode, it was pretty metal. This podcast is really Mr. Worldwide over here. You're like the Pitbull of anime podcasts.
Pitbull of anime podcasts. Wow. Oh no. Oh dear.
We are currently on like 3 continents. One other podcast has that. Ha!
4 time zones, bitches.
Woo!
It created absolutely 0 problems.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, I totally know about none of the problems that happen. I totally know.
Blah. Nothing.
It's really hard with time zones because it's like I sort of start keep and lose track of stuff. Boris and I were finishing up watching Knights and Magic last night, sort of where we stopped about halfway through, and he's like, "Oh, you know, you're going to be able to get up in time for the podcast." I'm like, "What podcast?" "Oh, that's right. There's a podcast in 7 hours. I have to go to bed." Oh,
it's a good thing I brought it up at all.
Yeah, I remember to set an alarm. Mind you, I woke up before my alarm anyway, and the podcast was an hour later. Whoops.
Never mind that.
Yeah. Also, you have uncovered our secret now. I think we had a comment somewhere that said, "Oh, I like that you guys are so chill to listen to." And it's like, yeah, I think that is because either one half is tired and the other one is just stood up. So it's basically just
the last episode. I don't know if you might not have noticed, but I was very tired and I was rambling a lot at the end, and I don't remember saying a lot of the shit I did. Like scrolling out Nisekoi on the big pad. I don't remember doing that.
Yeah, that was our subtopic of language in anime.
Probably almost got enough to wrap up. It's been a quick session actually.
Yeah. Do we have anything else we want to address, or?
We didn't have anything in the first place.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
Stay manly, keep lifting, stay hydrated, kids. It's important. It's good for the muscle.
Be like Boris, buy dumbbells again.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
buy more dumbbells and weights. Do your pull-ups and push-ups.
Boris really quit work not to become an artist, just to get fucking swole.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop once I look like Kenshiro. Then it's fine.
Go back into the workplace like that.
I liked it. There was one thing you posted. It said the ultimate artist goal is that you can use yourself as a reference for manly stuff.
Yeah.
You basically don't have to look up anything anymore. Just get in front of the mirror and say, yeah.
That's the ultimate one, yeah.
I have become the
manly.
true man.
Boris
become
can
bigger
replicate
than
his favorite anime, Hero Manga Sensei, and use himself as reference.
Or better yet, it's like I have
can-
become, or better yet, I have become the manly figure I always wanted to be. Now I can make the live action Fist of the North Star.
Yes!
Yeah, those are my life goals, and we're gonna round out the podcast on that note.
So for me, I didn't get to much working out due to my writing on stuff, but I did manage to pull off my Kiryu Kazuma cosplay, and I'm insanely chuffed about that. So yeah, then I would say thank you very much for being here, Hero.
Yeah, I would like to be here another time if possible. hopefully this time we'll be more focused, I guess.
Yeah. We build ourselves like a proper plan, time-wise and topic-wise, and then reappear.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So then, thank you very much for listening, and thank you very much for being here, Hero. And so this has been the usual round, which was Alistair,
Bye-bye.
Boris,
Bye.
Tom,
Take care.
and Hero.
Manly.
Nice. So see you all again, and bye bye.